I don't really have much of a take of this other than I thought it was ridiculous. David Pollack had a take last week that he said college offensive lines have no punch. And while I understand what he was saying, it's just go watch Bob Bostead and the guys move people.
I'd say for the most part, I think he was more frustrated in the fact that there's like guys out there that probably should be a little more mean to him. What's good about Indiana and why we're so successful is because our guys do have some mean to them. And we coach that. We coach them how to use their athleticism to their advantage. Yeah, I think it's just a well-executed
One of those
lineup.
guys. I was gonna say one of those guys, Brad, was Ademola Ajani, and he was a remember the name guy from us last year. All off season, we were like talking like remember Ajani, he's gonna make an impact. So I feel pretty good about that one, and obviously about the Indiana offensive line for sure. Curt Cignetti had a conversation on campus with the students, which was awesome. He's been doing that yearly, which was really cool. That event obviously popped off per usual. The other biggest thing that came out of this week, Brad, was the NCAA, and I put it in quotes because it's utterly ridiculous. They threatened to vacate wins and to come after Indiana's. They can't even come after the national title because the organization has nothing to do with it, but they want to challenge the validity of Indiana's season based on like the rules of restitution from like the 70s or some bullshit like that. Basically, they made a whole headline about how they can come and grab the national championship. Brian Lawton told us when we spoke to him after the injunction was given to Lou Moore that the NCAA is an awful, awful organization. This is just another one of those examples. But all of the people in the legal field that I've seen have a take about this, whether it's Mitt Winter, whether it's Sam C. Elrick, who's a assistant law professor at Boise State, it's essentially like not happening. Good luck to the NCAA trying to prove some of these rules in the courts they're trying to prove them in based on some of the past decisions that have happened. So just a way for the organization to grab headlines and just an empty baseless threat.
Yeah, making them look fools of themselves once again. Yeah, they could probably take away 13 of the wins, but they can't take away the 3-0 run in the CFP, which crowned them national title champions. So it's basically a baseless, clickbaity headline, period, point blank. Can't take away the natty, take away the wins. I don't care. Banners high for hang forever. And no one's going to remember how they got their wins vacated. And it's not even going to happen anyways. So,
yeah, they can't even come grab the wins based on the rules.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, let's take away
Vanderbilt's
wins. Let's take away. There's a lot of teams. Then we should just start taking away. We should just take away all the wins from last year. At that point, did you see Chandler Morris asking for a 7th year?
That was nuts, dude.
I really hope they don't grant him. I really hope so because he arguably shouldn't have played last year because he had the COVID year. I think he's played 6 years, had the COVID year, and then he's basically gotten the 5 years. Like if you include one of the years where he's played every year, argue one of those as a redshirt year, played the other 4, like you're done. Period. I'm as pro player as they get. You're done. Go get a job. I can actually help you out. Chandler Morris hit my line. I can help get you a job. Okay. I love that referral check. Anyways.
Hit up Brad Chandler. You heard him. Shout out to Michael Conway, who released a compilation of the graphics he created this year for Indiana football on his Behance. If you know what Behance is, if not, the link's on his profile. But all the graphics you saw come out, all the dope ones, all the like schedule this and weekly graphics and stuff, him and the team were responsible for. And so definitely go check those out. That was dope. It was the 1-month anniversary of the national championship last week, Brad, on the 19th. So I hope you celebrated.
Oh, yeah. No, I did. I did celebrate.
And then we got the conclusion of, we talked about the clause put in Curt Cignetti's contract that he signed back in October that if they win the Peach Bowl, if they win the Rose Bowl, that it triggers an escalator where he has to become a top 3 highest paid coach in the sport within 120 days. We got the conclusion of that clause last week. Curt Cignetti signed a new contract. He's now making, what is it, $13.2 million. If depending on where you look, he's the highest or second highest paid coach in the country, which completely deserved. We all knew that was coming though. And yeah, the fact that like that he is now paid the way that he should be paid, and so we move forward. But really exciting stuff, obviously, for Cignetti to go from where he was at James Madison 2 years ago to now at the top of the sport where he belongs. Brad, you don't spend enough time on Twitter probably to see that the conversation about the NCAA threatening Indiana triggered a bunch of the Miami fans. We got outpouring of emotions from the Miami fan base. They were
I
very
hate
upset.
Miami fans so much. It is. I'm sick of them. And they
The
warned us too. Like Ohio State fans warned us. They told us that once we beat them in a natty, they'll be obsessed with us for 2 decades. And it's only getting worse. 2 months in. It is. I'm exhausted already. I'm sick of them. Let's just schedule a home and home and kick the shit out of them. Like I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready to just dissuade my take of, because I think expanding to 24 would incentivize teams to schedule harder games, and I think let's do that so then we could schedule Miami home and home and beat the piss out of them anyways, and go on our merry way. And I don't know. I hope we see them next year. That'd be so sick. Can't wait. Anyways, what are you gonna say?
but the biggest gripe coming out of the fan base was like the fact that there was a text message allegedly about a PDF, and this account was trying to say that the PDF was Miami's playbook, and tried to argue that that's why Indiana won the game. And so our friends over at Kirkwood and Dunn posted like breaking news. We've obtained the PDF, like in the replies is the reason why Indiana was able to beat Miami. And you click on the replies and it's just this big picture of Carson Beck.
I think this is like how you know who actually knows ball and who doesn't, who's a 12-year-old and who's an adult who's played football before. Like my freshman football coach said it best. Like you should be able, other team should be able to know exactly what you're running, and you should still be able to execute it. Period. That's football. I said the same exact thing about the Connor Stallions. Like, I don't know. Figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. It makes them look a lot dumber than they think they're coming off as. Like it's crazy. I don't know. I hope it's just clickbait, but I think they're dead serious. And
I think they are serious, which I think it's equally as funny as it is frustrating.
Yeah.
We referenced it a little bit earlier, but Omar Cooper Jr. is flying up draft boards, like flying up draft boards. He was outside a lot of people's top 50s not 2 weeks ago. Me and you have been screaming for a year plus, basically, at this point, and probably even longer than that if we go back to the Sigs Inside days, that Omar Cooper Jr. is one of the most disrespected wide receivers, not just in the Big Ten, but in the country. That was something that me and you had repeated ad nauseum during the offseason.
He was better than I thought he was going to be. Like,
to see him get the level of praise from the national media and from the not just like the dynasty draft community, but the now like the actual full blown like NFL community, and like he's gonna go like have a sick combine. And it's gonna be really cool to go watch him go and perform and raise his stock even more. And it's just that's a player that when you looked at Indiana's roster when Curt Cignetti took over, it's one of, like we've been saying, one of the few blue chip guys on the roster that like the talent was very, very evident regardless of who was throwing him the football, where the football was going, or who was doing the coaching. And so when you talk about specifically at the receiver position, can Indiana develop these guys into NFL guys? It's like Elijah Surratt went from Division II to should be a top 40 NFL pick. Omar Cooper Jr. went from who knows what's going to happen in his college career to now he's going to be a top 25 pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Maybe even higher. It's they are putting it out on paper how unbelievable the development at all positions are, but specifically at the wide receiver position. It is unbelievably impressive stuff.
Yeah. Players develop players. Let's get that straight. But Indiana provides an environment that allows players to become the best versions of themselves. No player comes out of high school being an NFL player. I don't care if you're a 5-star or a 2-star. So it just depends on all the work that you put in your 3, 4, 5 years in college. And that's what's going to get you to the league. Yes, some are given with more God-given talent and ability than others, but at the end of the day, players develop players. Are you going to put in the work? Are you going to separate yourself? And Omar Cooper is an exemplifying example. One of the few blue chip guys on this roster, and all of a sudden, wow, first round. Oh, hello. Like, go figure.
Who's another blue chip guy in this roster, Brad, who's coming back? Actually, I don't. I'd have to go back and look and see if.
Give me the name.
But I believe
Give me the name. I'll stat correct you.
is Bones.
No, but he was high fringe 3-star.
Fringe. Not
He
that
was,
it matters. Stars don't matter, but
yeah, he was he's a Tom Allen guy that I was very high on when we brought him in. I was pretty pumped about the Bones Jones signing when we brought him in the Tom Allen days. Yeah, he's back.
love it. Absolutely, absolutely.